Okay guys, so this is the Revlon Colorstay Full Cover Foundation. It's brand new. It just came out in stores. And it's the first, I believe, foundation from Revlon that's in the squeezy tube like this. When I first saw it, it reminded me a lot of the L'Oreal Matte Foundation in the tube. I'll show you guys. I actually have it right here. It's the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover, so you could see how similar the tubes are to one another. And it's also pretty much the same concept, like full coverage foundation. They both have the same amount of products. This one is 1 point fluid ounce, and this one is also 1 point fluid ounce, which is just like a standard foundation size for all foundations. Retails for about $14.99 at most retailers. It's gonna be cheaper at like Walmart and Target. I picked mine up at CVS and there was actually a $3 off $14 or $15 purchase at CVS, so it only came to about $12. So I pulled it up on the Revlon website just because I want to read the claims to you guys like I usually do, so we know like what we're working with. This is supposed to be a full coverage matte finish. It lasts up to 24 hours. Again, don't think I'm going to be testing the 24 hours claim. It says it's a comfortable wear that moves with your skin without flaking or caking, easy to apply and blend seamlessly. It says it's not supposed to feel heavy, it's smooth, even complexion, and it actually says it has a built-in primer, which is interesting, and the tube is supposed to be like for easy on-the-go application. These kinds of tubes are really good for traveling if you're like wanting to throw something in your makeup bag that's not a glass bottle. Usually foundations that are in these types of tubes, they're kind of like moussey texture. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. As far as shade range goes, there is 16 colors and the shade range isn't too great. I'll put it here up on the screen so you guys can see. There definitely could be some deeper shades in there. The colors in this foundation do follow the same colors as the Revlon Colorstay regular foundation, so if you guys know your color in that, you can just get the same color. I'm hoping it's gonna match up, but I decided to get buff because it looked a little bit more yellow tone, and one of the drawbacks of this packaging is you can't really see the inside, which stinks. I wish there was like a little cut or something over here so you could get a better idea and feel for what the color is. That would be so much more helpful. I'm so curious if this is actually gonna be full coverage. I always get super like intrigued by these types of foundations because I love full coverage and I want to see if it's actually gonna work, especially because it's drugstore, even though we know drugstore price points are really creeping up there. I'm gonna swatch the two Revlon Colorstay foundations that I have on my arm alongside this so you guys can get a better idea of what they look like next to each other. I'm really curious how the formulas kind of compare to one another. So here are the foundations swatched out. The first one is the new Revlon Full Coverage Colorstay in 150 buff. The next is regular Revlon Colorstay in 180 sand beige. The third swatch is regular Revlon Colorstay in 200 nude, and the fourth swatch is Infallible Total Cover Foundation by L'Oreal, and that's in 303 nude beige. So I already moisturized my face with the Purely's Blue Lotus Balancing Moisturizer, and I'm gonna go ahead and prime one side of my face with the Revlon Photo Ready Pore Reducing Primer. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the left side. This foundation actually has a corresponding primer that goes with it, but I didn't pick it up. I figured I could just use this Revlon primer, the one that I already had and I know works really well. But that primer was like, I think $13.99, and it's right there on the display with these foundations. Just gonna squeeze out some on my mixing plate, and right away I could see it has a really like moussey kind of texture to it. The texture of it reminds me a lot of the Infallible Total Cover. Or the color actually seems like a pretty decent match. I feel like the sponge just like ate up all the product though. A little more. So first impression, I feel like it smoothed out my skin really nicely. That also may have to do with having that pore smoothing primer on this side, but I feel like it looks really nice and smooth on this side of my face. It did a pretty decent job covering up on the first layer, but I could still see some of my acne scarring showing through. Curious if this is buildable or if it's gonna get like super cakey, because it is a thicker formula for sure. Now I'm gonna go in with the brush, see what this looks like. Right away I can already see that the brush definitely like spreads the product out more, and you can make it go for longer, if that makes sense. Like the sponge with this foundation, it definitely soaks up the product. skin looks pretty smooth with the brush too. I think I might like applying it better with the brush at this point, just because I could spread the product out and get more like longevity, if that makes sense, with one pump of product. As far as the finish goes, it definitely is not like a complete flat matte. I would say it's kind of like a satiny type of matte. Like, it doesn't look like I have no glow whatsoever to my face. My nose actually looks a little bit on the shiny side. Usually my nose always looks shiny after I apply foundations, but it's definitely like a comfortable kind of matte. And see if I could layer this up. So I'm gonna take some on the sponge. Okay, so the second layer isn't too cakey. However, if I look close up in the mirror, I can kind of see it settled into my pores a little bit. Like, I can see the foundation sitting in there. I have these little, like, I don't even know what you want to call them. They're not whiteheads, but like little pores on the side of my nose, and it's making it stand out a little bit. Like, it looks like I need to like do a Biore pore strip basically. Like, it's making everything kind of stand out over here on my nose. Pretty decent job covering up my scarring. I would say it's like almost full coverage in my opinion. So I feel like this side with the brush looks a lot better. I don't have that issue over here where my pores are standing out and it's settling into my pores. I don't know if that's a primer foundation problem because I only put the primer on this side, but I could definitely see in comparison that I think the brush side looks a lot better and just like overall smoother. I don't know if it'll pick up, but from what I can see, it definitely looks smoother. Kind of looks like my skin. It's not too cakey. So far I like that. And my nose does look a bit shiny, like I was telling you guys. And my forehead looks really good. I have some lines in my forehead that usually when I apply foundation, they stand out really bad, especially when I first apply foundation. But right now I can barely even see them, so I'm really happy about that. So first impression after applying it is that I do really like this foundation so far. I feel nice and covered, and I also feel like my skin looks pretty natural and I don't feel cakey, and I feel very smooth. So I'm gonna go apply the rest of my makeup, my concealer and eyeshadow and stuff, and then I will come back and tell you guys everything I'm wearing, and then we'll do like check-ins and stuff. So I will see you guys in a little bit. So I finished up the rest of my face, and I want to tell you guys what I'm wearing today. So on my eyes, I have on two different eyeshadow palettes. So in the crease, I have the Athena palette from Bad Habit. I was gonna use the Huda Beauty Desert Dust, which is what this is duping, but I figured I would use the more affordable option. I thought you guys would appreciate that. Thought to myself that I hadn't used my Jaclyn Hill palette in so long. I really feel like I've been neglecting it because it's hiding out in this like makeup bin area over here. So I put this on today and I'm so happy I did. I'm wearing a couple of these shades over here, like this brown one. I'm wearing this one right here, and then all over my lid I have this shade. It actually goes on the lids lighter than it looks in the pan. Lashes, I'm wearing the Pixie Black Lacquer Lash Primer, and then on top of that I have the Pixie Large Lash Mascara, and I think my lashes look really good and voluminous, so this is a good combo, even though this brush is like, it's a little bit on the chunky monkey side. For my contour today, I'm wearing the e.l.f. Foundation palette, and I'm wearing this shade right here. I just blended it out with a sponge. It looks really nice. And then for my highlighter, I also decided to use another e.l.f. palette, which I dropped on the floor and it shattered, so I can't really show you guys, but I'm wearing this shade right here. This palette is completely done. I've dropped it like so many times and it's broken, but that highlight is so pretty and natural. So for my lips, I'm wearing Queen Bee Melted Matte. It's like a little sample from Too Faced. It's really pretty. And then I kind of did an ombre effect and I popped the Lorac Barista Alter Ego Brunch lipstick on the center of my lips. This smells amazing. If you don't want to use it like fully on your lips, you think it's too light, just use it in the center as a pop. The place I powdered was under my eyes and a little bit on my forehead. I didn't go crazy because I want to see how the foundation wears throughout the day. So I'm wearing the Maybelline Fit Me powder in 10 Fair Lay underneath my eyes. Gives a really nice look to the under eyes, very like lightening and pretty and smoothing, so this is really good. My eyeliner, I'm wearing the Maybelline Lasting Drama Matte Lacquer. You can get this at Target. I'm wearing the e.l.f. Medium Brown Brow Gel. Everything layered pretty well with this foundation, which is good. Like the products layered nicely on top. The only thing that didn't work out was I tried to use the Photo Chic highlight drops and the foundation rubbed away, so I had to go back and kind of like put foundation on in that one area. So just something to note about liquid highlights. I didn't use a setting spray. Usually I don't use setting sprays in my foundation wear test videos just because I want to see how it acts by itself. I don't want it to be influenced by a setting spray. I feel really nice and covered. I don't feel cakey. It does not feel heavy on my skin. My forehead looks really nice. The lines don't look too bad, and I feel like my skin looks pretty smooth. So I'm going to show you guys what this looks like in natural light just really quickly. I'll pop it up on the screen so you can get a better feel for it outside of the studio lights, and then I'll do check-ins on my vlog camera. I'll do one probably around, what time is it? Right now it is 12:43, so I'll probably do like a full-on check-in around like 4 o'clock maybe, and then I'll do one later on at night in my bathroom. Hey guys, so it is about 5 o'clock, like on the dot right now. So I've had this foundation on for like 4 hours now. So here's what we're looking like, and I was just looking in the mirror. I also took a flash test. I'll put it over here. It looks really good with flash too, in case you guys were wondering, because there's no SPF in it. So it is a bride friendly makeup. It is photo friendly. Creasing is right here on my nose. I get this often with foundations. Like this usually always happens to me. It's just like particularly bad on this one. Like I would have to buff that away. And then also right here kind of wore off a little bit, but nowhere else did I get creasing. My forehead still looks pretty good. There's like a nice amount of dew going on over there. My cheeks look really good, and you can see it looks like my skin, and I like that it looks really nice and covered. I feel like my skin looks covered but natural, because you can kind of still see stuff coming through, and I actually don't mind that. I don't like to have it like super cakey. I just like my face to look even, smooth, like I'm actually, you know, covered. I'll zoom in so you guys can see. Contour is a little crazy today. This side, I'm really happy with it. When I looked in the mirror, I thought it looked good. It just stinks that we have this creasing issue going on, and then it kind of wore off. I'm curious how my oils are going to be by the end of the night. Right now they're fine. I really don't feel too oily, which is good. So happy about that, especially because it's pretty hot out today. Like it was a hot day. It hit the 80s, but I still feel like it looks good. I do though think if you're oily, you will have to set this foundation more like you could do light dusting, especially in the T-zone area. Could be a new fave foundation. So I'm excited to see how it looks at the end of the night. Hopefully it doesn't get too creasy and rub off in other areas. What we're looking like, I think it looks pretty good. So I'll see you guys later on at night. I'll probably check in around like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. Okay guys, what would a foundation wear test be if I did not fall asleep with this makeup on? That is why I sound so sleepy right now. I totally fell asleep and woke up and realized, oh my gosh, I have to film my end of the night foundation check-in. But I guess I am living up to that 24-hour claim. But I want to show you guys what it looks like. Don't mind my voice because, like I said, I totally fell asleep. I got the worst foundation crease ever right here along my nose. I don't know, hopefully it's gonna pick up. It literally spans across my entire nose. Like this happened around like 8 p.m. so I wasn't even wearing it for that long, but yeah, you can kind of see how right there it creased really bad. It creased really bad over there. So my face does not look greasy for the amount of time I've been wearing this foundation. Like it didn't look greasy around like the 10-11 o'clock mark either. It's literally the middle of the night right now. But other than that, it wore off on my chin a bit, and it also creased a little bit and wore off around like the mustache part of my face. So overall, I'm gonna have to wear this foundation again and see how it wears for a second day. But my first impressions, I really like the way that it made my skin look. It just stinks how badly it creased. I'm gonna try it again with a different primer and see how that is, and maybe try using a different setting powder. Besides the creasing issue, I think it wears really pretty on the face. Like I felt like my cheeks look really pretty forehead looked really pretty. So I'm like on the fence with this one because how bad it creased, but I also really liked the way it looked on other areas of my face. To do a foundation wear test, like comparing the original Colorstay and this Colorstay, that would be really cool. Let me know if you guys want to see that. But I feel like I've rambled on enough and you guys kind of get the idea of what it looks like after wearing it for a while. So I hope you guys like this foundation review. Don't mind my crazy voice right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you guys are going to pick up this foundation in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not yet, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!